I am live, and in this video, I'll be teaching once again on neuroinflammation, how to protect your brain as a fighter, how to heal your brain, how to protect your brain, prevention and therapeutics, meaning I'm more competent and valuable than Tony Jeffries. I saw that Tony Jeffries, who's a deep state puppet shill, uploaded a video talk about fighters' brains and concussions, things like this. And I've been doing a much better job teaching this issue for years. And I watched enough of the video to be able to confirm that he's not as valuable. So if you're watching this video as a fighter, as a person training martial arts, you can you're better being better served by watching my video than Tony Jeffries. And I've been teaching on supplementation and neuroinflammation, how to prevent brain damage, how to mitigate brain damage, how to decrease amount of damage you take to your brain from sparring or if you're a combat athlete. Commonly correlated with mental health problems is neuroinflammation, which means if a person fight or not, boxer or not, martial arts trainer, sport or not, if somebody has a mental health problem, be it depression or anxiety, panic attacks, they suffer from panic attacks, they have OCD, whatever, if somebody has a mental health problem, they're more likely to have a brain inflammation problem than the average person because neuroinflammation, meaning brain inflammation, and mental health problems go hand in hand. And taking concussive blows to the head in sparring or in fighting, that induces neuroinflammation. So this is something I've been teaching to, and I watched on Jeffrey's video, and I'm a lot more valuable than he is. And so basically, what is the problem with brain inflammation? Brain inflammation teach you a little bit before we pull up his video. If you receive concussive blows to the head, you rather a brain which induces neuroinflammation. Okay, that's the issue. And sub loss of consciousness, concussive blows, meaning you don't have to get knocked out to take brain damage. You don't have to get knocked out. Even light taps to the head, sparring, being rocked, even playing sports like basketball or like NFL, people that play rugby or football, European soccer, where they're headbutting the ball. Uh, you don't have to get punched in the head, so you don't have to get knocked out. You can have brain damage happening without being knocked out, without being hit in the head. Okay, you can get brain damage by being kicked in the stomach. Even body shots can bother your brain if you're doing sporting. And if you're playing football, rugby, just anything that rattles your brain can cause brain inflammation. And I'm more valuable, have more competence than Shield Jeffries in teaching on neuroinflammation and on fighters. This is part of him being a system counterfeit shield, where he's trying to copycat me. Because Mike's has been out here being a martial artist, teaching other martial arts on Instagram about neuroinflammation and other places. Why you have more likely to have mental health problems, teaching people how to protect their brain, how to heal their brain, and things like this. So we need to have a system shield, do a video on the same topic, being not as valuable to people as I am. So in the video, he recommends uh, creatine and MNN, okay, which is like a drop in the bucket and baby stuff compared to how potent my supplement protocol would be to protect your brain if you're a fighter. Vitamin C high dose. He goes creatine for the brain as a fighter, and NMN. Now he doesn't go vitamin C, okay? He doesn't go vitamin C, NAC, ALA, quercetin, resveratrol, or any of this. Even if it was only resveratrol and quercetin he gave as supplements, that'd be better advice. See, so creatine is good. I supplement with creatine. I haven't been for a while now because I ran out of creatine. I'm on a budget, but if you're looking to protect your brain as a fighter, or you're a person that has gotten hit in the head and stuff, so prevent damage, make yourself take less damage from being a person intermittently get hit in the head in sparring or in the UFC, or you're training a sport at a low level, or you're competing in the sport. And the sport is the sport that's likely to give you brain inflammation due to rat in your brain. And remember, you don't have to lose consciousness, you don't have to get knocked out, and don't even have to get hit in the head to have brain inflammation happening. And that's what it boils down to. There's things that happen that cause brain inflammation, neuroinflammation. And that's what, meaning if you do sparring, what's valid is less likely to have people with Parkinson's, less likely to have people with severe brain problems after a career of fighting or something like this, if they'll be taking my advice, and while they're being a person that fights in the UFC or whatever, they do sparring, train boxing, if they would be taking my advice on day to day, all these years being fighter, they're taking anti-inflammatory supplement, antioxidant supplements. So my advice for people is going to be more valuable than Tony Jeffries. And my teaching over the years on this topic has been more valuable than Tony Jeffries. And as a matter of fact, Tony Jeffries is one of these people that's part of the problem. We made a video and it's intended to target me because I'm a target video, start checking social media and also accomplish other things. Where he makes a video about some fighters that after they get to a point where they become pro boxers, they start wearing sunglasses in press conference. You look daft, mate. So it's like mocking fighters that after a while of they get to a point where they're on stage, now they're wearing sunglasses like they're cool, but you look daft, mate. And that got me triggered. I made a video teaching on this because he doesn't have the confidence. Like, yeah, I do believe that why a lot of fighters wear sunglasses at press conferences after the fight or anytime is because they have neuroinflammation. And correlated with neuroinflammation are sensitivities, photosensitivity. So if you get hit in the head in a boxing match or UFC match, you get rocked, you're more likely to be super annoyed by the bright lights and flashing lights at the press conference. And you're more likely to end up wearing sunglasses, not just for aesthetics, but because you have neuroinflammation, and having neuroinflammation makes you more sensitive to bright lights, black noises, and flashing lights. So my analysis, the research, you see some people after getting into fighting, you see them present wearing sunglasses, is because they walk around and have a lot of neuroinflammation. And if you have neuroinflammation to a certain level, enough of neuroinflammation problem, you become sensitive to bright lights and loud noises, which like people get concussed. Sometimes after getting concussed, they're super sensitive to bright lights. So I do believe, and I'm not a hater of Tony Ferguson, so I'm not using him as like a butt of a joke here, but I've talked about this before. Tony Jeffries is a person that has been reported to suffer with mental health problems before. Okay, so it's not like I'm talking to his wife and I'm telling you the story here about Tony Jeffries' juicy secret mental health problems. Meaning, I'm a person that's been watching the UFC, and at a certain point, you see reports on MMA channels about Tony Jeffries having mental episode. Okay. Um, and who is Tony Jeffries? He's a person who had a long career getting rocked in the head. And what do I know? That neuroinflammation is part of mental health problems, which means if you have neuroinflammation, things that cause neuroinflammation more likely to end up having mental health problem, be it being severely depressed, getting PTSD, CPTSD, be it having OCD, anxiety problems, having Capgras syndrome like BJ Penn. There's another person. Notice how it makes sense what I'm telling you. And that's what I see being a quality viewer. And I'm able to help people like this to prevent other people getting to a point where their life is destroyed, like BJ Penn, who gets arrested because he's had a career of getting hit in the head, not taking my advice of protecting his brain from damage. He didn't have his nutrition course, getting him on a high dose vitamin C, NAC, ALA protocol, vitamin E, low sugar diet, and everything else I would have got him on if he hired me as a nutritionist course all these years. No, he's been unaddressed. He's been living a life that hasn't been protecting his brain from brain inflammation while having a lot of things happen causing brain inflammation. He hasn't been doing a good job protecting himself from brain inflammation while having a lot of things happen to give him brain inflammation. And you see BJ Penn suffering mental health problems, Capgras syndrome, allegedly, getting arrested, and his mom has to leave get a restraining order on him because he's showing up in the urine impersonating Pastor Mom. Okay, Elaine Sheen, his urine pastor. Okay, and she had to get a restraining order. He got arrested for violating it allegedly, and that's a guy who I believe he's got a mental health problem due to brain inflammation unaddressed for many years. Okay, and another example would be Tony Ferguson, who thankfully is not didn't have his life destroyed. It's not one of these people with uh, that has CTE and is like ends up running around with a machete, chop out his wife and kids, and he's in the news. There's like he went nuts, and then you be here, okay, the brain inflammation went nuts, and he destroyed his life and other people's life. No, thankfully, it's to a point where he's still active in sports, and he's had mental health problems, but he didn't get to a point where he's locked up somewhere forever. Okay, so Tony Ferguson is a person that wears sunglasses a lot, and he's been in a sport that gives you brain inflammation. And if you have brain inflammation, you become sensitive a lot of times to bright lights and noises. So I would not be surprised if the reason that Tony Ferguson started wearing sunglasses is because all the years training, he came up through the Tough House, TUF. All the years training before that, during and after, and competing, he's been having a lot of brain inflammation happening, and to a level where he becomes sensitive to bright lights, and he ends up, it could be subconscious. It doesn't have to be that he sat down and went, you know what, it's like I got brain inflammation and that's why I'm sensitive to he might not even have awareness that he could just naturally by an instinct be like he ends up wearing sunglasses one day for a press conference or interviews, and then subconsciously his subconscious mind knows that he feels better when he wears the sunglasses and more likely to end up keep wearing sunglasses when out in public, and he just feels less stressed and annoyed and irked. He just feels better, calmer, and just feels better wearing sunglasses than without. See? And that could be why I ended up wearing sunglasses a lot. So basically, there's a connection between mental health problems and neuroinflammation. Fighting gives you brain inflammation, and most people are not living like I would recommend to mitigate the damage, to reduce the damage, to make you get less brain inflammation from being hit in the head over time, and to heal the brain and protect the brain. And Tony Jeffries' coaching on this and teaching is subpar. So after Tony Jeffries made a video, and notice how he's not a seeing leader and as competent as I am, so it ends up being part of the problem. There's fighters that are having brain inflammation and they end up wearing sunglasses because they had inflammation. And then Tony Jeffries makes a video making fun of them. You look daft, mate. What these guys that come up as boxers, the one that once they got to point with like a press conference wearing sunglasses, you look daft, mate. And I hear that and I go, this is part of the problem. I know the reason why a lot of fighters wear sunglasses on press conferences is because they got brain inflammation being walked in the fight. And if brain inflammation goes high enough, you become sensitive to bright lights and loud noises. And you're going to be in a press conference, people are snapping pictures and doing media in a well lit room. So I'm not surprised to see a lot of fighters in between fights, after, or even if it's like before they've had a career of getting brain inflammation from the training and competing, and they become sensitive to bright lights, loud noises, and just feel better wearing sunglasses in a press conference than not wearing sunglasses. And this guy's part of the problem, but he's not as bad where he can tell you the why and how to deal with it. He just goes, yeah, you look daft, mate. Let's mock people, fighters that wear sunglasses. Let's mock people, make fun of them that wear sunglasses like an idiot out of ignorance. And now he wants to flip because I've been taking into account and like pointing out, and I'm a person that's been teaching on the inflammation, how to deal with it for fighters and everybody else. And now he's like, oh, I need to try to copy Mike, going from being a person that's very super worthless to be like, oh, we've heard about this before, kind of copy him a little bit and talk about supplements for the brain that Mike has been teaching for years. Only the advice won't be as quality. The supplements won't be as powerful. So, um, what I will tell you is not just creatine. It's like to protect your brain as a fighter, you should be on a multi antioxidant protocol, and you should go low sugar. Sugar gives you inflammation. So you should go low sugar. Okay. Low sugar. If you're a fighter, watch this. Your BJ Penn in prison, or Tony Ferguson, or anybody who's not a celebrity. Okay. Just anybody. You're looking to protect your brain from brain damage as a person training boxing, sparring, or competing in a sport. Especially for you, it's important to get on my supplement protocol. You need to get on a multi-antioxidant protocol. You need to supplement with antioxidants, primarily vitamin C. Vitamin C ascorbic acid lowers inflammation. So remember, the problem is brain inflammation. And vitamin C crosses the blood-brain barrier. So if you drink vitamin C water, as I do, that vitamin C will get inside your brain. So if you have brain inflammation inside your brain and you drink vitamin C water, the vitamin C ends up being in the brain, lowering inflammation in the brain. See, where some antioxidants can't get into the brain. They don't have the same dispersion, the distribution. So now we're going to get to a medical disclaimer. This content, meaning what I've been saying up until this point, what I'm saying right now and saying after, this content is for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional. So that's the medical disclaimer. So here's the point. Verify my phone. Okay, yeah. So if you're looking to be really helped better than Tony Ferguson, you listen to me. So the supplement protocol is not the drop in the bucket creatine. For people with brain inflammation, here's my cold advice. Tony Jeffries copy Mike in style, in form, because he's talk about supplements for brain health. And after I make videos come out as a problem, this guy doesn't know about brain inflammation and make videos about supplements for brain inflammation. It's like now the system still needs to respond to be like, we don't want to be the first time people come across Mike's videos. They heard Tony Jeff talk about supplements for brain health. Only he won't be available because he's not allowed to. It will be like creatine and NMN. So the supplements that I've been recommending as part of brain health, protecting brain health, is going to be vitamin C. Okay, very important. Vitamin C. And I can teach you on that, I have before. But vitamin C should be part of your protocol. High dose vitamin C, optimally multiform, meaning regular ascorbic acid, vitamin C water, or capsules, and liposomal form, vitamin C, liposomal encapsulated. So basically, the supplementation part of what I would teach you if you're Tony Ferguson or BJ Penn or anybody who's not a celebrity, training boxing, you're looking to protect your brain from damage from sparring and fighting. You're looking to heal damage already has been caused. You're looking to mitigate damage, prevent, and have a therapeutic effect on any damage that's already occurred. Here's my protocol, and it's going to be supplements is a big part of what I'm going to talk to you about, how to heal your brain, protect your brain. A multi-antioxidant protocol. Antioxidants are anti-inflammatory. So if you have an inflammation problem, you take supplements to lower inflammation. So brain damage, neuroinflammation, get rocked in the head, that's an event that induces neuroinflammation. So you have a problem with neuroinflammation, and if left unaddressed, your brain is decaying over time. It can get worse and worse, and you have this and that problem. So here's the multi-antioxidant protocol: vitamin C, regular, and liposomal. NAC, N-acetylcysteine. ALA, alpha-lipoic acid. Vitamin E, omega-3 fish oil, high dose. Niacinamide, vitamin B3. These are some of the supplements that I will get you on. These are some of the supplements you should take. Now, you should be on the base supplement level already, like the average Joe, my supplement protocol, the average person looking to be strong, fit, healthy, you should take these supplements. Let's put up the health fitness protocol graphic. Vitamin C, niacin, magnesium, D3, K2, omega-3, and a B complex. Okay, so that's the basic advice that this is supplement list I teach all human adults should take. Now, if you're a person that's having more brain inflammation and things like this, there's going to be extra supplements should be taken on top of this and higher amounts of some of them. So, in short, supplements you should take if you're a person training boxing, sparring, you're a person that has got it hit in the head, you got neuroinflammation. Uh, Vitamin C, ultimate two forms, regular so-called ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and liposomal. Okay. On top of that, ALA, NAC, and acetylcysteine. And you should go on a low sugar diet. Sugar gives you inflammation. So if you eat sugar, that gives you brain inflammation. So since the problem is brain inflammation, you're adding to it if you eat a high sugar diet. If you drink soda, you eat candy, you're giving self-inflammation. And if you're having brain inflammation, you're exacerbating it. You're making your brain inflammation problem worse if you're eating sugar. Sugar gives inflammation. It's not only in your stomach, it gives you system-wide, raises inflammation and inflammation in the brain. So low sugar diet. And here's another thing that I've been teaching. When I teach my health fitness protocols, my three-part protocol is cut down on the sugar. And at the upper tolerable level, it's 20 grams. So stable 20 grams of sugar per day is what I've been saying, as opposed to 80 plus. So the average person consumes 80 plus grams of sugar per day. So go from 80 plus to 20 minus as a highest tolerable level. Now, better yet, to quit it 100%. Okay, but at least get below 20 grams of sugar, because 20 grams of sugar gives some inflammation, but above that, every gram gives you more inflammation. So aim to stay below 20 grams of sugar per day. Now the good news is it doesn't count eating fruits and vegetables. Fruit sugar, so that's been my coaching. Meaning, if you listen to my coaching, how to be healthier, or teaching people that have a more serious problem how to heal, it's going to be cut down on the sugar. It's always going to be part of it. It's like to be look better, feel better, be more athletic, whatever, deal with a certain health problem, it's going to be cut down on the sugar. Now, and I put the limit at most 100 grams of sugar per day, as opposed to 80 plus. So the average American, according to statistics, consumes 80 plus grams of sugar per day. And every gram is give you a certain amount of inflammation, brain inflammation too. Remember, there's a connection between mental health problems and neuroinflammation. And there's a lot of things I can teach you about depression and sugar and things like this. Here's the point. Stay below 20 grams of sugar. The good news is it doesn't count eating oranges or bananas or kiwis. There's fruit sugar in there. So fruit sugar in its natural occurring forms doesn't count towards the daily sugar limit. Meaning, if you drink orange juice, that's still toxic, that's bad for you. It might not be as bad as Coca-Cola because it's got a puny amount of ascorbic acid in there. Okay. But still, if you're drinking orange juice, part of what the rapid fluctuation of blood sugar is part of what hurts you. Too rapid of an uptake. So you have an insulin blood sugar spike followed by rapid decline. And that's a risk factor for diabetes. And it's bad for you. So that's the skyrocketing blood sugar, readily absorbable carbohydrate sugar, liquid form sugar, and it's just like this, your blood sugar, and then it's going to crash again. And that's bad for you. So if you eat an orange, you're consuming the fruit sugars with fiber and solids, which somewhat slows down the uptake. It makes you have less rapid of an uptake, which means the blood sugar spike eating an orange is going to be more like this, versus if you squeeze that orange and make orange juice out of it, it's more like this. Okay. So fruit sugar in their natural consuming fruit sugar in the natural current forms doesn't count towards the daily 200 gram sugar limit. Or take my advice, stay about 200 grams of sugar per day for your health, especially if you got brain inflammation problems going, you got mental health problems, you're looking to be healthy mentally and physically. Stay below 200 grams of sugar. Get and stay below 200 grams of sugar is going to be part of my coaching. Okay. And you go, what, 200 grams of sugar? Yeah, the good news is consuming fruits doesn't count towards the daily sugar limit. We're talking white refined sugar, we're talking sugar, candy, soda, sweets and treats, and all this stuff. So fruit that you eat doesn't count toward the daily sugar limit. Eating an orange, how many grams of fruit sugar is in it doesn't count towards the daily limit. Okay. Eating a banana has some fruit sugar, and there's fiber and solids in there, and there's also things that got put in things that like counteract if there's like a bad effect from fruit sugar. There's other things. There's some things that have antioxidants added to them to meet. So there's God has balanced it. That's the point. You can't get enough vitamin C from fruits and vegetables, so you don't try to get enough vitamin C from eating oranges, buddy. If you really want to be healthy, it's a fool's errand. A regular sized lemon contains sub 100 milligram amounts of ascorbic acid. So it'd be practically impossible to like drink raw lemon juice or eat like 100 lemons to get close to your daily needs of vitamin C from every perspective. Every perspective, like the potency of the milligram amount of vitamin C in this form, contrasted to pure ascorbic acid powder dissolved into water and consumed. It's going to be better to get the ascorbic acid than drinking lemon juice, trying on lemon juice for a day the vitamin C needs. Secondly, economically and for in every way, it's just you want ascorbic acid, pure ascorbic acid, and you don't want fruit sugars. So here's the point. Yeah, I find it interesting. This guy, Tony Jeffries, is a copycat. So it's like they respond to what I've been doing because I've been calling him out as not valuable and being part of the problem, brain inflammation, making fun of fighters wearing sunglasses. And I make a video on Instagram. Yeah, it's part of the problem. The reason some fighters wearing sunglasses got brain inflammation unattended, and it gives you sensitivities. And I also teach on supplements you can use to reduce neuroinflammation. Okay, so now we had to have the system share kind of copy, mic, inform, and make a video on the same topic. So it's kind of disgusting. Anyway, it's the point. What I will teach is not creatine and NMN to protect your brain and deal with brain inflammation. It's going to be high dose vitamin C, dual form, two form, stereo. Yeah, it's not going to be mono. It's going to be stereo. Okay, you're going to get vitamin C liposomal, and you're going to get vitamin C ascorbic acid. Okay, so then you want a stereo, you want a dual form, not mono. You want two. If you watch this on 5.1, you can hear it. They get no, 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 no. Okay, yeah. So maybe that makes enough of a difference if you notice it. Is that my voice is coming on one side and on the other one. So here's the point. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So what you need is this. You need to. This is better advice. If you watch a Tony Jeffries video, you get a lower quality advice. He's less competent, less valuable in what he's teaching you. So what I'm going to tell you is not just take creatine to protect your brain, deal with brain inflammation. Take creatine and NMN. No, it's going to be high dose vitamin C, regular ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and liposomal vitamin C. It's going to be NAC, N-acetylcysteine. It's going to be ALA, alpha-lipoic acid. It can make you more alpha too, because toxins can lower your testosterone levels. So ALA counteract the oxidative stress caused by chemical toxins. It can end up having your testosterone lowered less from daily hydrogen home cleaning chemical exposures. So ALA is good in many ways. So here's some supplements that are more important to take. It will do more for you to protect your brain rather than creatine that Tony Jeffers talked about. Vitamin C, regular and liposomal, ALA, alpha-lipoic acid, NAC, N-acetylcysteine, vitamin E, high dose omega-3 fish oil. And if you got more money to spare, you throw quercetin and resveratrol into the mix. Quercetin. I used to take 500 milligrams quercetin capsules. Uh, Now, you don't major on minors and go to like additional supplements like optimization. Let's throw in a few more antioxidant supplements to the mix. You major on the most important ones that do the most bang for your buck. So money spent to anti-inflammation effect in your body ratio is very high with liposomal vitamin C and regular vitamin C, ascorbic acid. And how much it ends up lowering inflammation in your brain and in your body and healing your body, what you're getting, it's going to be so much more from vitamin C in the two forms that I mentioned than creatine is going to do to protect your brain. So creatine, that's like symptom management. See, it's like creatine can help with mental clarity, but vitamin C is an antioxidant that protects you from brain damage, from high level neuroinflammation. So you have high level neuroinflammation, brain is taking damage. You lower the inflammation with vitamin C supplementation and the other supplements I've been teaching on. And yeah, you can take creatine too, but you don't rely on creatine to protect your brain from concussive blows to the head. So, uh, my protocol, what I will get you to do if you're a fighter, what I would recommend people to protect the brain is vitamin C, niacinamide. So this is the basic protocol, and you should add extra supplements if you're a fighter. Vitamin C, niacinamide, magnesium. This is a basic protocol, remember. Vitamin C, niacinamide, magnesium, D3K2, omega-3, B complex. On top of this, you should take NAC, N-acetylcysteine, ALA, alpha-lipoic acid, and liposomal vitamin C on top of regular. This is a basic protocol graphic that I have when teaching the average Joe. You want to be healthier. Here's my recommendations how to be healthier. Strong, fit, healthier. Cut down on the sugar. Take these supplements this much. And for a person that has a higher need, they have more stressors, they have problems. There's going to be, I want to add other supplements and higher amounts of some of these. So vitamin C is crucial. Let's go watch the Tony Jeffries video, where it's being maybe 1% as valuable to people looking to protect the brain as I am.
attention and information processing speed. Why would we not want to have that? Then the other 13, which is the most...
Notice how this laughable clown that is incompetent and unavailable, he will go to supplements to protect your brain, creatine and NMN. And he's not telling you vitamin C high dose, dual form, lipo and regular. He's not telling you NAC and acetylcysteine. He's not telling you that this not does for. We see the two supplements that he mentioned in the video is creatine and NMN. Okay. And that's for nothing but vitamin C, high dose, omega-3 fish oil, NAC, ALA, vitamin E, and cutting down the sugar.
Thousands of times in boxing. So what I'm doing right now to try and cure my brain is a bunch of different things, like living a healthy lifestyle. But also what I'm doing is taking some supplements that is scientifically proven to help.
Yeah, like I've been doing to deal with inflammation and teaching others. Only I use more effective supplements.
With cognitive function, that's helping my brain and also helping the cells in my body. And the two supplements that I'm taking, which I swear by, number one is creatine, which...
Okay, so he's talking about supplements to deal with extreme neuroinflammation from being a fighter. And when he goes to this health fitness expert, very valuable opinion, he will tell you, yeah, creatine. And it's not like first things first, vitamin C high dose, ascorbic acid, which crosses the blood-brain barrier, gets into your brain, counteracts oxidative stress inflammation. No, it's going to be creatine. Okay, creatine, which is a good supplement to take, but it's not the main thing.
Which is the most studied supplement in the world. Evidence suggests that the creatine and monohydrate supplement is heavily helping with cognitive functioning in adults, especially in the memory, attention, and information.
Yeah, that is correct. I've been megadosing creatine for many years. Now, there's Band-Aid to gunshot wound solutions. To as a monotherapy, use creatine just for your brain health as a person with brain inflammation and brain damage. Creatine. That's not good advice. Creatine can be part of a complete supplement protocol, and it's a supplement I use myself and recommend, but it's not the most important one. For people with brain inflammation, they need to major on anti-inflammation effect. They need to major on vitamin C, NAC, ALA. These supplements are going to do more for you to protect your brain and deal with system-wide inflammation, brain inflammation.
Information processing speed. Why would we not want to have that? Then the other thing that I'm taking is pure NMN. What this does, it helps elevate my NAD levels.
And the ROI ratio, ROI, return of investment, is going to be lower with that rather than if you spend the money to liposomal vitamin C. You're better off, whatever he's saying that the NMN will do for you, how much money you spend. You're going to get more bang for your buck by a 30 pack of liposomal vitamin C and take a sachet a day. In a kilo bag of vitamin C powder, start making vitamin C water and get 6+ gram amounts of vitamin C per day in the way that I recommend you to. So if you want to get 6 grams of vitamin C per day, you get 2 grams at the start and 2 grams in the middle of the day, 2 grams at the end of the day. Not 6 grams one time per day. We take a morning dose, 2 grams. We're now waking up 2 grams of vitamin C. In the middle of the day, another 2 grams, an additional 2 grams, and then 2 grams towards the end of the day. And ultimately, for your morning dose, you also take a lipo-C sachet. So the first dose, first hour waking up, you take your 2 grams of regular vitamin C. You also take a lipo-C sachet. And then you take 2 more doses of regular vitamin C. So 2, 4, 6, the first dose of 2 grams of regular vitamin C, you also take a lipo-C sachet at the start of the day. That's going to do a lot more for you than any amount of creatine and LNM, whatever he's talking about.
And as we get older, our NAD levels are declining. This is preventing us from having that energy that we might have once had when we were younger. And when I'm taking my pure NMN, which is 1 scoop under the tongue each day, this is helping elevate my NAD levels. And when I read the research about this, it's great. And this is why I'm doing this on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I don't take that. I do take high dose niacinamide and B complex high dose.
And I want to quickly...
I take 3 B complex tablets a day. I've been out of B complex for a while now, but I typically take 3 B complex tablets per day. And I take 3+ grams of niacinamide personally per day.
say one more thing on this. If you are going to get this, make sure you're using a legit company, because there's so much BS.
Notice how he's less valuable to you teaching him how to protect your brain with supplements, and he's making money from it. Whereas me, I'm teaching you the truth. I don't have financial incentive. So I'm teaching you more. I'm doing a better job teaching you how to heal, protect your brain from brain damage, neuroinflammation. And it's not shilling for some supplement that, first of all, is not as valuable, not as helpful, won't do as much to protect your brain. That's what I would recommend you. And it's something that he's selling. He's got a financial incentive sponsorship something. So I recommend Ultra and C Liver Labs liposomal vitamin C, because that's liposomal that I take. And I don't have a financial connection to them other than being a paying customer. And I recommend whatever brand of vitamin C, pure ascorbic acid powder, you can source from Amazon. And pure meaning that's the only ingredient. So what you want is pure ascorbic acid, vitamin C powder. And you want liposomal vitamin C. I don't care what brand of vitamin C it is on Amazon. You get the cheapest kilo you can get. As long as it's pure, meaning it's unbuffered, it's pure, it's vitamin C powder. Ascorbic acid is the only ingredient of the bag or can.
Yes.
And you can start making vitamin C water to get on the 6 gram a day level. Now you need to be aware of the fact that if you're taking ADHD meds, the vitamin C can knock out the ADHD meds. Now I really don't have to mention that as a disclaimer because your doctor should have told you. Meaning if you got prescribed ADHD meds by a doctor, they should have told you that you can't take vitamin C at the same time take ADHD meds because it knocks it out. I talked to somebody in real life that I got to get on a high dose vitamin C protocol. The report they stopped getting sick, they were cured of mouth sores with all the advice I gave them. And they got on ADHD meds, and they told me that the doctor told them not to take vitamin C with ADHD meds because not even have that's orange juice because it can neutralize the ADHD meds and make it not take. I don't have to every time I tell you 6 grams a day, but if you take ADHD meds, it will knock it out because that's the doctor should tell you that. It's similar to years back before I quit SSRIs, I was on antidepressants. They will tell you in the insert or the doctor not to take any supplements with St. John's wort in it, or they should at least. So if you go to a doctor and they prescribe antidepressants to SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, they'll tell you not to take St. John's wort supplements because you can get too much serotonin. Because the SRI drugs will raise your serotonin levels in the body. And St. John's wort tea or St. John's wort tablets can also raise your serotonin. So you can get too much serotonin. And it's something called serotonin syndrome, the serotonin toxicity levels. So anyway, that's the point. I don't have to deal with that.
Out there. I use donotage.org, which is a research.
Yes, this case, less valuable than I am. I'm more valuable in teaching you the truth on how to heal and protect your brain and then be healthier across the board. And this guy is a system shell, matrix system shell, that's copying me and being less valuable. Because I got supplements and I'm selling the supplements I recommend for brain health, and they're not as powerful as the ones that Mike Sal will recommend to you that he doesn't sell. Okay.
Company that's obsessed with helping people with longevity and with brain. Now back to this. This is the G-force, your brain experience.
Yeah, so I've taught that too, that having a strong neck can help to protect your brain. Because basically the neck adds so basically, how do concussions happen? It's not that you have a button, that certain nerve that you touch it and the press go out. What happens when a concussion happens is you deliver energy here, which rotates the brain. The brain bounces around inside of the cranium. And it's the jaw, the button is because there's leverage. So if I get punched with a straight hook here, it kind of pushes my brain in a more straight line, okay? Whereas if it's at the bottom here, it pivots and there's more of a shaking of the brain happening due to the energy being delivered here. See, so it's this, and inside of the brain is moving around. So your brain is inside of water. Another thing that can make you more vulnerable to brain trauma, like being hit in the head, is being dehydrated, which is part of the badness of the sport. The UFC and boxing, at least in the UFC, a lot of them dehydrate themselves severely to make weight. And then they get concussive blows to the head and the brain is not fully dehydrated yet. It can take a long time to get fully hydrated. And part of your brain's cushioning system to protect your brain from it being rattled is having water in the brain. So you have too little water can make it more vulnerable too. So, so here's the point. How concussions happen is you get hit in a box if you see a knockout. What happens is a person gets hit in the jaw, the brain moves around inside the cranium, and it short circuits and it turns off. So it's not that the knockouts happen by this sort of bottom like pressure point. You touch this nerve and this signal says turn off the brain. Now what happens is this part, which why you target this part with uppercut and a lot has the chin, is because it's leverage. So you have the brain rattled more if the punch lands here from the side versus if it lands here. See, typically. So it pivots. Same here if it's an uppercut, like the brain moves around more. So that's how knockouts happen. And you don't have to get knocked out to have your brain rattled. And yeah, so basically one of the things, so the brain damage and concussions happen by rapid acceleration, the acceleration of the brain inside the cranium. And this is something called Q contra Q, where if somebody falls and they impact the ground like a slip and fall at the prefrontal cortex region, like if somebody falls and they hit this part on the ground, you can have paradoxically this area of the brain is taking damage. Okay, this like bruising on this part of the brain because you hit here and then the brain moves back and impacts the back of your cranium. There could be a certain part, the first point of contact with the brain, the first part of the brain that impacts with the cranium is here. Then basically this Q contra Q, where it's like you it's not that if you hit the front of your head, it's going to be the front part of the brain that gets damaged only. If you get hit, you hit the front part of your head, the brain moves back and hits the back of the cranium, and you can have this part of the brain or this part of the brain take as much or more of a hit there. So my point is this: what does a strong neck do for you in terms of protect your brain? It can make your brain move around a little bit less. It can make it a little bit less of violent shaking. Same everything. If you have a slip and fall, hit your forehead on the floor. If you had a stronger neck, like a pencil neck, I might get knocked out. I actually had an event where I had a slip and fall and face plant on the ground, and I wasn't knocked out. But it wasn't good for me, okay? So this is years back. Now here's the point. Something that can help is having a strong neck because if the head is on a weak pillar, like a pencil neck, it's easy, like a bobblehead, to move it around and rattle it. Whereas if you have a stronger base and some muscles, that is like a cushioning, a braking. So if the head starts moving, there's muscles resisting it, like buffering it. So if you have muscles, keep your head up and kind of strong muscles, and the head starts moving here, there's more muscles that are like slowing down the movement. Okay, so if you have a bobblehead, the head is not held as firmly, it doesn't have the musculature. So if you have more, so it's easy for it to rattle. If you have more neck muscles and it starts moving here, this neck muscle be activated. Just if I start pushing on my jaw, I can feel muscles. I can feel muscle activation. So if I start pushing on my jaw here, I can feel muscles being activated. Where I can feel muscles that are resisting the movement. Okay. And if I go here, I can feel these muscles here that are resisting the movement somewhat. So you don't have to, as a skill, like tenses or ways off like this. You just have more muscles attached to your neck. Automatically, it can break the impact a little bit. It can make a hit move. It's like your brain is breaking, your body is breaking, your head is not moving as quickly because the muscles in the neck is added some cushioning. So something that can actually make it hard to get knocked out is having strong neck muscles. Then I know some people like Michael Chandler, I've seen him on social media, knowing this days in combat sports, he's been majoring on neck exercises. I saw him have video where he was doing weighted neck exercises and stuff to build a neck. And part of the reason some people do that is to make it hard to knock them out, which is just simple. If it's harder to get knocked out, that's better. And also just to protect themselves, okay? Take less brain damage from being hit in the head.
When you get hit, think about it. If your neck is like a cooked noodle all floppy like this, you get punched in the head, that head's getting snapped back that brain is shaking around the skull violently. And it's that what...
Yeah, and if you have neck muscles that are breaking it, there's more, or it's less like easy to move it. It's like breaking it. The muscles are breaking it a little bit.
is going to give you that damage and prevent you from taking a shot. You get concussed or even knocked out. But if your neck is like strong, like a tree trunk, think about Canelo Alvarez's neck or Mike Tyson's neck. When that punch lands, your head is not flopping all over.
Or Mike SAHA's neck. I have a neck too. It's a mighty neck. We should have gotten a frontal flex video for this. It's a shoulder neck. Here, so you can see I have somewhat of a neck. It's not the best video for that. We'll go for the frontal flex. Here, you can see I have some significant neck muscles there. Then you can see here the side of the neck, that's the opposite pencil neck, where there's first of all like these traps, they might be called, these muscles like from the shoulders to the neck. And then there's muscles on the actual neck itself that are protruding out a little bit. So that the neck muscles can help having a strong neck. Now, basically, why a lot of guys have pencil necks and have to try hard and work hard to get a mighty neck is because they got low T. And low testosterone correlates with a so-called pencil neck because you have more androgen receptors, like testosterone receptor sponges in your neck. So if a person has a lot of testosterone flowing around in the body, will bind more to the neck muscles, and just naturally from moving around being a normal guy, you end up having the opposite pencil neck. So a person, you shouldn't have to work out really hard and train your neck to have the opposite of a pencil neck. It should take not having low T. Okay. So an average Joe is like 18 years old and he walks around, he hits puberty, he doesn't have low T, and all the time he's looking around and living his life having not low T, his neck will grow to a certain level. Where the problem is a lot of guys have low T, and that's why they have pencil neck. They got low testosterone, but they shouldn't have a pencil neck. Just from their level of activity, how much they move around, moving their head as part of daily life, they should have a little bit more neck muscles. So it boils down to low T. Okay. So if you raise your testosterone, that can help you to strengthen your neck too. It's hard to build neck muscle with low T.
Over like a noodle,
Harder than if
them neck muscles help absorb that shock in your brain. And I'll give you some exercises to get that strong in a sec. So I just want to say, if you're a boxer and you aren't training...
So like entry level neck exercise you can do is just sitting like this, and ear to shoulder, and then other ear to shoulder. And as with everything, you start with body weight and you don't go to weights. So if you're going to start exercising your neck, you don't order one of these things with weights on it. To train safe and not create injuries when you're training, you start with body weight as a general rule of thumb. Before you start doing weighted squats, you do body weight squats. Before you start doing like trying to bench press twice your body weight, you do push-ups. Okay. So neck exercises you can do, you start with body weight exercises. And a simple one is to sit like this, body weight neck exercises. And then you sit like this and you go to the shoulder, touch like ear to shoulder. And then back the other ear to the other shoulder. And you can do repetitions. And to not rattle your brain as you're doing it, you don't focus on speed. Okay? Because if you start like headbanging, it's also giving you brain damage. Part of why heavy metal is toxic, that culture, because that gives you brain damage. People like headbangers, maybe they cause as much damage from like a rock concert headbanging session as if they would train boxing and go get hit in the head 20, 50 times. Say. So, and here's another thing. When you come out of the shower, you've been giving yourself brain damage too, more likely than not. If you want those people to come out of the shower and you're like violently shaking your head to get the water out, that's also rattling your brain, okay? That's bad for you. So no head banging and no head banging post shower, okay? Because you rattle your brain. So Another thing, the neck exercise is bodyweight exercises. Simply this, you can go like this, and remember, don't use too much speed because then around the brain. You sit like this, you go ear to shoulder, right ear to right shoulder, fall by left ear to left shoulder, and then you can just go left to right like that. Bodyweight reps. Then you can go back and then down, touch your chin, touch your chest, touch your chin. You go back and you looking to have your cranium touch the back, your back, okay? Like I said, the form, okay? So it's like you go touch here, and I go back and touch here. And you just simply, there's different variations of form. You can do it this way or that way, but a way to train your neck is go like this, okay, which would be left to right. And then after approaching failure, or you feel like you've got a little bit of work and done a few reps, maybe 30 reps of that, you can start going, it'll be like a plus sign, where you go, and you don't go faster than what you see me do now. See, another thing you can do is lay down on a bed, and these things you can do laying down on bed too. You can also do these, okay? It's another thing you can do. So I'll show you different ways exercise body weight for your neck. You can do this, okay, left to right, and then back and forth, and not faster than this. This is borderline, it's like almost a bit too fast. And then you can go like you're looking, lining up with your shoulder, and then left, and then left. And then you can mix it up and then alter form a little bit. But that's a way to exercise your neck. I don't do exercises regularly. Just walk around having not low T is like super low T. Do you understand? Just walking around having higher T than a lot of people do. I don't have to exercise hard. I stay ripped with a six pack, and I have been doing like crunches, really training my abs a lot. So it's like enjoying the benefits of not having low T. It doesn't make it that hard to achieve and maintain an athletic, lean muscle physique. A lot of boys under testosterone, why it's hard for a lot of young men to get in shape. It's because they got low T, which I see so many men with dad bods in the 20s. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be normal. There shouldn't be as many people in the 20s with a dad bod in the 20s. I consider it natural for a man of health. A man in his 20s should have a flat stomach as an indication of health. And there should be more men in the 20s with visible abs.
Your neck directly, you really should be. And for this, you don't need any fancy machines. There are three main movements that you can do right now without any equipment that's going to be very beneficial. So I want to tell you what these three exercises are, but I want to just quickly talk about a fighter who is known about having a glass jaw. And the reason he's known for this is because he's been knocked out multiple times, even though the people who knocked him out was the likes of Canelo Alvarez, Danny Garcia, and Terence Crawford. But even though that lad's got that label, he was still a world amateur champion, an Olympic silver medalist, a Commonwealth Games champion, because what he had was unbelievable footwork, which is the number one defense in boxing. That helped with his defense. He could get out of the way of the punches, apart from when he come up against Canelo Alvarez. And
yeah, the best arm is not getting hit. The best arm is not getting hit, which means if you have the strongest neck ever, getting hit in the head is doing something to your brain. Now, not being hit at all with the weakest neck ever is do you understand? If you're not being hit in the head at all with a pencil neck, you're not taking brain damage. With the strongest neck ever being hit in the head, it's doing something to mess with your brain. So the best arm is not being hit. So it's better to not get hit than to be a person that gets hit and doesn't take this much damage. Now, in certain situations, you're going to take damage, and it becomes about mitigating it.
Terence Crawford, but also having unbelievable footwork doesn't just help with your defense, it helps with the speed of your punches, the power of your punches, counter need to improve what you can do.
Yeah, so here's my protocol for people with brain inflammation. and are more valuable than Tony Jeffries. His supplement to protect your brain. He's recommending creatine that he has got a financial connection to the company and NLMN. Okay. So what I would give a person that's training sports, looking to lower brain inflammation, it would be the basic protocol here plus, okay? So they'd be a step above the basic level. So for a person who's an athlete, like a boxer, I go 11 grams vitamin C or 12 per day. Now you had to learn about vitamin C supplementation. It's not just, I take 11 grams in the morning. That's too much in one dose. You need to cut up the dose, and you need to know what form, and so on and so forth. So here are some supplements for brain health. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, ALA, alpha lipoic acid, on top of the vitamin C, with E, O3 high dose omega-3 fish oil, B comp, magnesium, D3, K2, niacinamide, B3. Yeah, so there's just quite a little bit. Yeah, so what people need to do, you need you need more than just some creatine to protect your brain if you're a fighter. You need high dose vitamin C, high dose antioxidants. So it's going to be about lowering inflammation. Okay, so it's going to be less things that cause inflammation. And I feel like I got a little booby here. Yes, as a point, it's going to be less things to heal your brain, protect your brain as a fighter. Now, we're going to work over inflammation. So less things to give you inflammation. Alcohol gives inflammation, sugar gives inflammation. Chemical, toxin, hydrogen, cleaning products give you inflammation. So reduce as much inflammation sources, less causes of inflammation in your life. So it's inevitable going to be the box match risk of getting hit in the head. But if you're using perfumed, toxic chemical laden hydrogen cleaning products that give you inflammation, that's unnecessary. That's not helping you to be better at fighting. And it's giving you inflammation. So low sugar, how to protect your brain, low sugar, stable 20 grams of sugar per day. Detox your life, replace as many of your hydrogen home cleaning parts as possible with more natural alternatives. Get on my supplement protocol. Vitamin C, magnesium, D3K2. Hold on, let's put up the graphics, I don't forget it. Vitamin C, niacinamide, magnesium, D3K2, omega-3 fish oil, B complex. And for people looking to lower brain inflammation, like an athlete, we're going to go, this is the baseline level. You're going to get at least 11 grams of vitamin C per day regular and 1 liposomal vitamin C per day. Niacinamide, we're going 1500 milligrams plus. Magnesium, not less than 1000 milligrams. D3K to 600. Omega-3 fish oil, we're going 3 to 12 for a person with a higher need to protect the brain, heal the brain, the body. B complex 1 to 3 per day. And on top of these supplements, remember vitamin C is 2 grams 3 times per day for 6 grams. And if you're going to take 12 grams, there'd be 6 2-gram doses per day, evenly spaced out. And on top of these supplements, for some like BJ Penn or Tony Ferguson, if I was their health fitness coach or any boxer, it's not like it has to be like what the guy is looking like he's got brain inflammation really or something like this. Like anybody who is in sports, they haven't had any problems yet, whatever. It's on top of the supplements that you showed you. I would add ALA, alpha-lipoic acid, NAC, N-acetylcysteine, vitamin E. And you want to throw in some other supplements in the mix for brain health. Let's go resveratrol cricketted, or at least cricketted. They have 500 milligram cricketting capsules. So throw in a cricketting capsule in your supplement list too. You can take 500 milligrams cricketting morning, 500 milligrams evening, for example. So yeah, you can watch more videos want to learn more about this. And I'm more valuable than Tony Jeffries. That's the truth. So speaking the truth and being truly competent and more competent than other people, that become clear. Being a truth speaker that's truly competent is a better long-term strategy. I thought about this before. You have Pastor Rafi Garner that has had a soft sellout life, and he wants to have people look at him like Stolen Rat, like he's a guy who's been fighting and his life's been hard. He's had a soft, comfortable, mushy sellout life. So he needs to work to be like God has equipped me and prepared me, where God works with the truth. See? So God has made me be a person that can be used to lead Christians. And with the truth, see, God can operate through the lies. God go, Mike can make videos. I'm a Christian having endured persecution for 10 plus years. And that's been hard, and that's the truth. And here's what I learned. Whereas if Rafi Garner hasn't had a life, like I had to lie and deceive and work to misrepresent things and falsely paint myself as a person who's had a tough struggle life and persecution, even though he hasn't. So speaking the truth is a good long-term strategy. And some supplements that you should take to protect your brain is vitamin C, and ALA and NAC and cricket. So it's like it will be more valuable. I can be valuable making videos like this, but it'd be more valuable if I would be deal with a person one on one. That's the highest level. Meaning, if Tony Ferguson or BJ Penn would have reached out to me and asked as a nutrition coach if I could consult with them, and I'd be talking to them, be like, what are you eating right now? What supplements are you taking right now? It's like, when do you break fast? Do you eat breakfast? Do you eat three times per day? And then looking at their current circumstances and possibly some other variables, and then go, for you, this much vitamin C, for you, this much niacin, and then be like, and here's how to make a vitamin C water. Obviously it'd be more valuable for me to work on with somebody one on one. Same if I make videos on fat loss, and there's a guy who's fat. Yeah, he can be helped by watching my videos in of himself. But it'd be even more valuable if I talk to him as a coach, like one on one for 30 minutes on Skype, and tell him his work need to get less of it and this. That's the point. I gotta finish up. If you want to know the truth about how to protect your brain, I'm more valuable than Tony Jeffries. He doesn't have the same level of competence, he hasn't been as valuable in his teaching. I gotta finish up. Let's go bring the video. And basically, the take-home takeaway, you need to do a serious job to lower inflammation in your body. And a big part of that is going to be supplements that are antioxidant, anti-inflammatory supplements. Another thing you can do, you incorporate turmeric, ginger, and black pepper into your meals for extra anti-inflammation power on top of the supplements. You don't rely on diet and spices for the end effect. But on top of the supplements are helping to lower inflammation in your body and your brain. On top of that, when you're cooking, why don't you throw in some turmeric, ginger, spice, and black pepper, which also lowers inflammation. Turmeric contains curcumin, which lowers inflammation. Ginger contains ginger, also lowers inflammation. Black pepper contains piperine, which enhances the absorption of the curcumin and the turmeric in the ginger, also in the ginger about 2000%. So that's the antioxidant spice trio, anti-inflammatory spice trio. So while you're cooking, you don't go, oh, just throw in a little bit of these spices in my food or rely on turmeric, ginger, black pepper for all the, no, not for all you need. Like this, the heavy lifting is done by the supplements, and kind of as optimization, you can add a little bit extra anti-inflammation power to your food by adding anti-inflammatory spices to your food and not using inflammatory seed oils and things like this. Using olive oil can help with inflammation too due to the what is it, polyphenols. So here's the point. Yeah, so the spices you can throw in your food for extra health effect and inflammation lowering effect. Turmeric, ginger, black pepper. So if you're cooking, find ways to work in turmeric, ginger, black pepper into your food. And you shouldn't be, how I look at food is as a nutrient delivery system. It's not like, oh, when I've been cooking, it's like, oh, I add a tablespoon of turmeric to my food. And it might make it taste worse than if I would taste, maybe it would taste better if I added only a teaspoon of turmeric to my stew or something like this, my soup. But I add a tablespoon and it tastes a little bit different, but I get more inflammation effects. I'm focusing, prioritizing the strengthening effect of the food and the nutrients. I look at food more of as a nutrient delivery system than a pleasure source. It's something I do to live, not I don't live to eat to live, don't live to eat. I don't look at food as something that the point of eating is to feel good, as good as possible eating. Um, so here's the point: you can work in a tablespoon of turmeric and uh, a flat tablespoon of turmeric, a flat tablespoon of ginger, and a 16th of a teaspoon of black pepper into most food and still have be edible. It depends like the portion size and everything else. But it's like, as an example, if you're going to cook, find a way to get in like at least a flat teaspoon of turmeric, a flat teaspoon of ginger, preferably organic, okay? And a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now, even less, a little is better than nothing. I mean, if you would have just a little bit of black pepper, can do a lot to increase absorption. But like a quarter of a teaspoon of black pepper, a flat teaspoon turmeric, a flat teaspoon ginger, and find a way to work those three spices into your cooking. And you're adding some anti-inflammation, antioxidant effect to your meal. And use healthy fats when you cook: coconut oil, avocado, olive oil, if butter, then real butter. Okay. Um, Another spice you can incorporate into your food for extra anti-inflammation effect, antioxidant effect, is chili. Cayenne and chilies that contain capsaicin, which is an antioxidant. And the stronger the chili, the higher the capsaicin content. So it's the capsaicin those inflammation. So the harder the chili, the more capsaicin, the more antioxidant, anti-inflammatory effect. Now you have to titrate to effect, also considering like tolerance, meaning it's like as much as you can deal with without stomach upset. And do you understand? So you don't want to eat too strong chilies, so you like burn a hole in the stomach. Okay, but you can build up, or if you have been eating spicy, you start add a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of chili to every meal, or it's like 3 meals a week, let's say. And then over time, it's like you'll be able to use more chili without like this is too hard because you build up tolerance to it, capsaicin. So the more capsaicin, the more antioxidant effect, fighting fire with fire, inflammation. So chili is hard and fiery, and it lowers inflammation in the human body. See, it's like fighting fire with fire. So um, yeah, so spices you can add to your cooking to add anti-inflammation power on top of the supplements is, first of all, the food shouldn't be having a lot of inflammatory ingredients in it, like sugar and bad fats and things like this. Now you have that like neutral, it's those neutral spots. Now you add some anti-inflammation effect to the meal, some turmeric, some ginger, some black pepper, and yeah, I'm gonna finish up. This could be the end of the video.